guys, welcome back to our tutorial channel. This is my channel. So this afternoon I am going to demonstrate scaffolding. This is using Visual Studio 2022. So I fire up my Visual Studio now and I will create a project. I will create an API project. So this is a web API project. So this will be CRUD sample or CRUD demo. CRUD using, I will use and demonstrate repository pattern as well as unit of work. CRUD unit work. I will just name it like that. Demo. Okay. So we'll create the project. And in this part also, in this tutorial video, I will not create manually the data transfer object of the models, but I will scaffold, meaning I will regenerate our models from the existing database. So we will use the command scaffolding. Okay, I will show it. So that's the first thing that we need to do before creating a connection. So this is now the project that is being created. So this is by default provided by .NET 6 framework. Okay, so this is an API project. So there's a default here. So first we are going to go to tools, new git package, and we need to install first the tools install package Microsoft entity framework for the tools. So this is the one that's very important. So you can issue command like scaffolding. All right. So now we are going to scaffold scaffold our DB context. If you just enter it, it will ask for connection. So there's a nice website here that have sample. So like this, the core. So for example, this one. So I'll just copy this and replace that. I mean, the connection string will be just like here. Connection string. I'll just say server equals like that. Server equals, and then my server that we'll be using is this is my server, so express, and this one I cannot type. I cannot paste, copy and paste. So Edwin is so comma, then my database plus I will use BRS. This is existing. Um, trusted source connection plus true. Yeah. Then the provider, you can just type this one by one if you would like also. So, but you can also input it the way that I did. So, provider will be Microsoft Internet Framework SQL Server. It's the provider. Microsoft entity, the framework for that SQL server, right? So unable to find the entity. So we need to install first the package Microsoft that entity framework for that SQL server. And this one we just we just we will not input. We'll just copy this one and replace because it's all of this scaffolding command. It's nice. It's not nice to just like that. So I will replace it with this one. Server. So be my server and my database is BRS. And this one I put directory model, and this is the model, and then context directory is context. I will name it as DB, no, uh, API, context folder. This is the folder, so DB context, API DB context, and the context. This is the context name, so I will name it as mm, uh, API demo context. Uh, Select over demo context. So that's it. So it will scaffold, meaning to say it will generate uh, the tables here. It will create a model, its properties here, its columns, fields like that. It will be created as like models. So that's the way if you have an existing database. All right, so it will create a connection string. So that's why there is, as you can see, this is what we supply, inherit the DB context identity framework, and it's passing, and it's create DB set, so it's virtual. These are all, oh, we put null, and this is it that will configure to protect sensitive information in your string should move it. So we just basically we can move it. This is the way how scaffolding works, and of course models is already created here, all of the fields, so you didn't have to type it by yourself. Okay, but as suggested, we need to move our, what is the context? This one. This is the context, so we need to move our connection string. We don't want to put our connection string here. So this one on configuring will remove it. Option bolter on model creating. Or we can just use this one, but we have to remove this part. So we will put it in the our config for hidden secret. We delete it. Okay, we go to our project. Right click. There's a manage user secret, and then you have to create connection string here. Connection string. method connections to system. Voice. Um, your connection, the name, just plus the value. So basically, we just move it from our code. Uh, we put it here in our user secret. So connection string, this is the name con, your con, let's say the first one next, before con. We'll copy this, we'll move it here. This SQL server, then we need to have the connection string, I think it's not needed anymore because we already created. So I will have this connecting option, use option. So when configuring is not needed anymore. Another creating, I think okay we just because we already created that, so I think just comment this out because our purpose is just to have the scaffolding work. Oh, it's not commenting. Yeah. Okay, so what I do is to inject this option. I will put it in the uh, here in the command under add these services. So we need to build the services add DB context. That's our DB context is this one. And then this, and then this one. We'll put the option, lambda expression. Option will be studios server. We have to bring on this. This is nice. it down. And then this one, you can just easily type configuration, the grid connection string, and the your connection string here, the secret, is default one. Okay, so still lacking. So this way we add it in our container, and in any concrete class that you have to need it, you have to inject it in the constructor. Okay, so let's try to build it. It's working. Now you're all right. It's all it's good. So since we already have the model, so we'll start to create our repository pattern. For example, the user. So we have this model. So I will create a folder first. It's the repos, repo only. And in this repo, I will create because I will be using unit of work and a repository pattern. Repository pattern is just uh, breaking your code, not or let's say your code is in another layer. So all the database operation, for example, adding to the database, deleting, saving is in another is abstracted like that. So it cannot be sent easily in your client code. Okay, so it's just adding a layer, and then unit of work is basically handling a transaction. That group of operation will be saved as one or as a unit of work. Either it will fail or it will pass. It will be as transaction as a group. For example, you have I will show it in the code. So how we implement. Okay. So first, we will create also abstract folder for the interfaces. Only just the interfaces. So this is our signature interfaces. So we can utilize yeah, dependency injection. We'll add first. Let's create first. For example, the user. So let's create a user interface. Yeah, a user only. So this iUser will have what will we do on the user? So we need CRUD, right? CRUD. So we'll have void add, and this is type of we will use the model user. This is the model user, and we have to bring the name piece. It's in our models, and this is create a variable model. So this is the signature that we will add the user. But this should be interface, so it's being class. I was delete first. Interface. I use a repo. I use let's say service. So we'll have void add of type user. So name this. The variable is just model. And we'll have void remove. Remove user, of course this will be integer, it's user ID. We pass the user ID and then we can remove. Then we have another void. Let's just make it as a thing, I enumerable. So queryable, or we can query in I enumerable. So let's bring the name is task is I enumerable. Collection enumerable. I enumerable. Let's see it all source. So if your source, your source, and then this is asynchronous. We put the same like that. I inner ball of type user. One, two, plus. Maybe this one. Wait, why we put void? It us. Why we put void? So that's it. So in here, user service interface, we will not create the saving because we will use unit of work. So the saving will be in the unit of work. Okay, that's the purpose of unit of work. So it will be synchronized, or I mean, as a group. So you add user, then you click save, but that save is in the unit of work. Okay, so you have one or more adding, you add user, you add to another table, and the saving is just one implementation. So it's like a transaction. Okay. So, okay, we have the interface for this user. So, we'll create now the concrete class or the implementation. So, we will here in the repo, we'll add a class. This class will be into user service because define, we have to inherit the user service, the interface, user service. Let's bring the interface here. Interface, the namepiece. Right, and then we are going to implement. All right, so we have to implement this, but of course we need the data connection, the DB context. So we have to add it in our constructor. We have to, what's the name of our this one? So this one, like that. This is injection, dependency injection, and constructor part. So we just name it as context. Okay. Control period, we bring it, create an assign a property. Alright, so now since you have this variable, so you can just see here in the add, let's try up to try cuts, and inside the try cuts, you can just see context that, uh, yeah, of course, the user property that add model like that. So that basically add But if we will not going to use the unit over, after adding, you can just have like that save changes. But it's very individual, so we try to avoid it. And let's have the saving in the unit of work. Alright. Okay. So this one, this is a list. Just list it will just list a user. So since this is a task, we have to put it in async. And yeah, we just have to return away context, because this will just context that users that to list, you just list async. So list async will be available if you bring the editor framework in this. It's hard to do this. I think it's just control period. Yeah. Okay, so basically it will return. And this one, remove. So first you have to find the user first. User with takes the user find ID. So basically it's have already, it's so nice. So after that you can see context that yeah, you start out remove user. No, it's not wrong. It's wrong because we are not going to use the proper what table. So user pass user ID and it will be removed. Oh no, it's the variable the user. So that's it. That's our repo for the user. Okay. Now we need the unit of work to make it work. What's the problem with this? User may be null. So why? What's the problem with it? You can just try to check it. Alright guys, so that's our repository. Now we will create our unit of work interface. So let's click interface. I unit of work. Okay. So in unit of work, all you have to do is to we have a task synchronous here. Let's say we have to return it is successfully, and this will be saved as synchronous. So this will be our unit of work. Delete async. Okay, so we'll add what's the needed bit after. Okay, so we'll just having CRUD operation to the user table. So there are lots of table data. So that's pretty lots of needs to do. Okay, so we have to create the implementation of the unit of work. But of course we need to add first, since this is user, we need to add add script first. We need to write implementation of unit of work. So let's just say unit of work. Okay, and then I open here I unit of work interface. Control that and implement it. It's slow when it's showing. Okay, so basically this is now the implementation of our serving. So what we will do here, this is asynchronous, we put async here. We just have to return await, and then of course we are going to save this. So first we have to inject first our, just like here, the connection. And then this, what happened? Copy. It should be here. Delete this formatting. And we need to create the control that with an assign property. Okay, so you can see await a context that user that no, we're not going to see user context that say same as a sentence like that. And since it will return about true or false, so it just greater than zero is true, meaning it's successfully saved. Okay, so that's tracking greater than zero is successfully saved. So that's why this saving is for all. It's not just for particular user. Okay. So now how do we implement the what I call this the repository? So we go back with our unit of repository. So every repo here we add it. For example, the I user service. Yeah, we add that one. So in our implementation of unit of work, we should pass the constructor for that repo. Implement it, and there is I replacer, and this one you just have to pass the new I user service. That's its user service, and this is the interface type. So we need to go to the implementation user service because they have a constructor there. So we need to pass the context. Okay, that's one. Okay, so I think this will work now. So, okay, so now before we create our controller and with API, so we need to inject it here. So before here, we need to have to builder that services that scope. This is the lifespan I mean. So this will be the unit of work now. Unit of work interface. And the implementation is unit of work. Something like that. Okay, we're doing the name piece. The period interface. Control period. This is the repo. So hopefully this will work. Injected here. Let's check it out, and then we'll create here an API controller. So we'll go to the API and we'll name it as first user. Okay. So from here user we need to inject not the appdb context, but it will be now the unit of work. So I unit of work is the class unit of work. Bring the name is here. It's control period with an assigned property. Alright, and then for example, we have to create a method now to post, to remove, to add. Because if you are going to add, you have to save, right? So that's basically how next. So our API is API controller, so it means to say the website address, or if it's localhost, the address will be localhost slash API slash user, and then we need to have this HTTP get to get the, this will be public task action, that will be task. So I action result, I action result. Um, let's see, this will be each users. This testing. This one, let's see what users is equal to. Now we need to use a unit of work that um, user service that give user a sync. And that's it. And then return okay user. What's this? Testing a laptop. Okay, we have to go to. Okay, I think we need to try if we can get this, and hopefully that will be successful. So let's run this API user. So this one, so I just need to try it out here. Another parameter, we just execute it. Oh, why you cannot be null? Why? Hit connection string. Oh, we have problem here. I think now user secret. There's a misspelled manage user secret. Since it have this, start to do it again. Since we have our new swagger, so we can test it. We are not going to use the Postman. So from here we can use it directly. So see, it's going to our here. So debug it. Oh my God, it's working. See, so this one is not needed because it's already done. So it's created. So see, the response is, oh, response is 200. So there's the user. Okay, guys, so it's working. So we're able to get the user. Now we need to post the user. I mean, we need to add user. Okay, so now API controller, we just add an is post method here. So that will be HTTP post public as same again, same, and think or task is still I action result. Let's see user. user, success user. Bring my this here. Okay, so set a variable user. Um, user. Return our this one. We have to do the user service. Let's see. We need to call the unit of work under this user service. Then uh, let's see, this is posting. So add the user service add. Let me see. Okay, what's the problem here? Return okay to the one. Hmm. Should not be like that. Then here, unit of work. That's save a thing. That's it. This the time that we have to issue away because this code is not edited. So I think that's it. So let's try it. So we need to post a user. User have a lot of property here. So this has an enter. Okay. So let's post user. Let's try it out. This is good for Swagger because it give you a template already. So actually user ID will not add it because ID, it's identity or it's the primary key. So username is just what for example. So user type 0, blacklisted 0, and false. Mobile number is the same. Da. Email address is the same. Alright guys, so let's see if we will add. Okay, it goes here. Let's go to the user service. And what's being added in our model is the property that we just saved. This is add user, but it's not being saved yet. Okay, so this is the work of unit of work. It's the one saving. Alright, so as you can see here, because we return to 1, 400 here. So it's success. So we'll try to look in our database for the user. So see guys, we have this. This is the one that we added. Okay, we will try to delete this one. Okay, so go back to our code. We need to implement the delete. So this is our delete. We are using HTTP delete, and we don't have to use the delete user, so we have the delete here. we specify here in the execution method. So delete ID like that, and then let's try it out. For Swagger now, there is a method, is API user delete passing an ID. So Swagger is very nice because it will give you already, for example, the integer ID. So what ID you are going to delete? Let's delete ID number one, user ID, and then try it out. You have to try it out. So pass the ID to delete one and execute. So see here, it's being passed here. Oh my god, wait, zero. Because one, why is zero is being passed? String of ID. This just cancel. Try it again. What, why is zero being passed? Determines ID. I think we are wrong in passing in the sugar. So let's try it out. So execute ID is required. So user ID integer. ID is string. This is not a string. Column. User ID is integer. On, on, execute. Okay, that's the sort how it's solver works. And say this is a remove in the user, but to fully remove in the unit of work, see the same. Alright, so you can see guys, the ID is the one that deleted. We'll check in our database. It's really gone. Where is this? Oh, it's gone now. So that's one. We have a CRUD operation now using repository pattern and of course the unit of work pattern. So repository and unit of work pattern. And then of course we are using with API here in .NET 6. So we are implementing it using dependency injection. And of course, we scaffold, we get the model we create by the existing database. So that's all that we did for this demo. Okay. So if you need to add, for example, the CRUD operation for another table for the booking info like that. So same process here, the unit of work you have to add. You have to create the interface its table and add here, and then that's only the modification. And of course you have to create the repository because this is per table, so this is for the user. And if you create for example booking info, you have to create another booking service, and you have to add all of this like this code. So that is already abstraction. And from our controller, we are not directly accessing now the data context, but we are now using the unit of work to save. So right, you see, all of the saving here is a unit of work. We inject the unit of work from here, and of course the this one user service is as a constructor of the connection. For example, if you see here, uh, where's the repo? You can see we have constructor here. That is the connection that we pass. All right, so that is for now, guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learn a lot today, this afternoon, for our topic. So basically, this is .NET 6 Web API using repository pattern and a unit of work demonstration. So if you like this video, guys, subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell button so you will be notified for the next service that we will be posting here. So this is just a reference, and of course for someone who may need help or who are looking for something like this. So I hope it will help. So happy learning, guys. Bye bye.